Now we are going to discuss about the questions from internal security which has been asked in this year's mains examination 2020. Like every year, this year also we have seen that there are 4 questions, and some of the questions, most of the questions rather I would say, like out of 4 questions, 3 questions are very straightforward questions. In one question you have to just think a little, but in the last few years there have been some questions where you had to think a lot, you have to analyze a lot, but this time the questions are quite straightforward. So let us take questions one by one. The first question from internal security perspective is question number 9. It's a very straightforward question. It says that discuss different types of cyber crimes. Types of cyber crimes and measures required to be taken to fight the menace, and measures required to be taken to fight the menace. This is 150 words. This is a direct question from the syllabus. We have cyber crime, we have this in the syllabus, and it is a direct question. So discuss different types of cyber crimes. Cyber crimes are basically the crimes which are done with the help of computer networks, है ना? So cyber crime. So what are the different types of cyber crimes? Cyber crimes include so many things, like we have phishing, we have Trojan, we have botnets, we have denial of your service delivery mechanism. Then at the same time we have so many malicious malwares are there, ransomware is there, even fake news is a cyber crime, even cyber terrorism is a kind of a crime. Terrorism is a kind of a crime. So different types of cyber crimes. So you can mention about, you can start with what is a cyber crime, and then you can talk about very like different type of cyber crimes. There are 20 different kinds of cyber crimes. You do not need to mention each and every. If you could recall, good, but if you cannot, at least 5-6 major cyber crimes you can talk about, and then you can talk about the measures required to be taken to fight the menace. So what kind of measures we have to take? The preventive steps, then we have to take the curative steps. Punitive steps are required. So when we talk about the preventive steps, we can talk about awareness, cyber literacy, because many times people are not aware. We are not aware that what we are doing may lead to a crime. So awareness is not there. Sometimes you are not aware कि आपको अपना जो है computer बंद करके रखना है. If you are not sitting in front of your computer, don't let it open, because in the offices generally we have seen that cyber hygiene is missing. And cyber hygiene is missing amongst the masses. So those kind of steps. So awareness is required to prevent this kind of crimes. Then we have to have very strong, your hardware should be very strong. They should not be easily used. Criminals cannot easily enter your systems, and so we should have a very strong or foolproof kind of hardware system should be there. Then cyber crime hai, to cyber laws should also be very stringent. Then we should have the institutional frameworks to deal with it, like we have certain. Then we also have to have like cyber crimes को track करने के लिए we also need to have your international collaborations, interstate collaborations, like we have Budapest Convention is there, then Doha Declaration with respect to cyber criminal tracking is there. So we need to discuss about different things that can be done for containing this cyber crimes. ठीक है, and some of the steps that has been taken, जैसे cyber स्वच्छता केंद्र है आपका, botnet clearance center is there, cyber स्वच्छता केंद्र is there, then chief information in security officers should be there in the institutions. Then we have National Critical Information Care Center is there. So different institutional mechanisms are there. IT Act 2000 is there. So you can mention about that and what further could be done. So this is a very straightforward direct question. Now let us go for the next question. Question number 10. The question is saying, for effective border management, discuss the steps required to be taken to deny local support to militants and also suggest ways to manage favorable perceptions among locals. For the effective border area management, discuss the steps required. Border area is the management of the border areas is there in the syllabus. So it is saying that effective border management, for effective border area management, discuss the steps required to be taken to deny local support to militants and also suggest the ways to manage framework perception amongst local. So this is the border area management is a topic in our syllabus, and we have seen that for the past some time they are asking one or the other questions with respect to your border area management. This time there are two questions from border area management, but the theme of the questions are completely different. So here they are talking about like in the border areas we have seen that the locals are supporting. We have seen in the northeast, we have seen that there is local support by the people there. Even in Jammu and Kashmir we have seen the local area support is there. So they are saying that effective border area management, we need the discuss the steps required to be taken to deny local support, because in the border areas we only military or your defense forces or your police or your paramilitary is not sufficient. We need to have locals with us, because we are seeing that now where the areas where locals are providing support, it becomes very difficult to manage the borders. So we need to have the we need discuss the steps required to be taken to deny local support to the militants and also suggest ways to manage favorable perception among locals. So favorable perception of whom? Favorable perception of the administration, favorable perception of the defense forces. So suggest measures so that people do not support the local people. So the local people do not support the militants. So we have to give the steps. Why the local people are supporting the militants? The local people are supporting the militants because they are getting these areas, the border areas, with the problem with the border areas. If let us understand this first and then we will talk about this question. See, when there is always a problem in the border areas, because border areas में what happens is the people who are in the border areas, वो आपका चाहे वो आप म्यांमार के साथ ले लो, there is a cultural linkage. So some of them feel कि just because of this geographical border we are here, otherwise we are safe. Similarly, when you talk about पाकिस्तान वाला, सो दे थिंक कि ये बॉर्डर ने हमें अलग किया. कल्चरली जो बॉर्डर एरियाज के लोग होते हैं उनके पास क्या होता है, कल्चरली दे फील वेरी सिमिलर. ठीक है, वो दोनों साइड में अपने आप को, वो बीच में बेचारे कहीं ना कहीं उनके साथ एक काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम रहती है कि हम इधर हैं या हम उधर हैं. जस्ट क्योंकि हमने एक जोग्राफिकल बॉर्डर बना दिया है तो वी हैव बीन डिवाइडेड. सो बॉर्डर एरिया में ही मेनली आपकी प्रॉब्लम रहती है. एंड देन द बॉर्डर एरिया पीपल, दे have a feeling of alienation, because generally we have seen that border areas have been in the past we have seen the border areas have been mainly looked from the prism of security. उनको एक बफर जोन की तरह हम ट्रीट करते हैं. उनको हम मेनलैंड एरियाज में जो डेवलपमेंट होती है उसकी तरह वहाँ पे डेवलपमेंट एंड ग्रोथ नहीं हुई है. एंड बॉर्डर एरियाज sometimes the growth is also not possible, or the level of development there is also not possible, because these are your weak areas. जो border areas है वहाँ पे आप you cannot go for very heavy investments, you cannot go because of the question of security and stability. So to deny local support, so why the local people are supporting the militants? Because they have a feeling of alienation, there is a feeling of there is misgovernance, there is corruption, border area development has not been at par with the mainland development or the central areas development. So they feel that they are not getting the dues that they should have been given, or they feel that they are not the culturally they are not the part of this country, so that is why the country is not providing us that support. So that is why we are lacking in the growth, we are lacking in the development. So that perception का जो problem है आपका, वो भी है आपका border areas में, and that is why the people local people, they start supporting the militants. And then at the border areas we have seen that there is also your non-state actors as well as state actors who are helping to in the proxy wars. And when they see that there is no development and then there is a radicalization, there is proxy war, they easily start supporting militants. They feel that we are not the part of this country, we are not the part of this state, and they start supporting the militants. So what needs to be done? We have to understand the demand of the local people in the border areas. So some of them are demanding for more autonomy, some of them are demanding for separate state. So the demands which some of them are demanding for more cultural autonomies. So we in some areas, not at the cost of the integrity of the country, but we have to understand the demand of the local people there, and then we also have to develop these areas, and the development should be bottom up rather than your top down. So when the youth, when the people are engaged, when the people have employment, when there is a proper service delivery mechanism, when there is proper governance, when the people are already employed, they are not free, and when they feel that our emotions, our concerns are taken care by the central government, there is no top down approach, they would not support the local militants. And at the same time, what we have to, and also suggest ways to manage favorable perception among the locals. So favorable perception, if administration is involving the local people in developmental policies, policy formulation, if the programs are implemented according to the local demand, if the administration or is giving a vent to their emotions, if it is allowing them, it is taking them along with it, so there is a kind of a confidence building measure. So unless and until people have the confidence in the governance structure there, the perception amongst the local will not change. And then when you talk about the security forces, we have seen that there have been instances of your misuse or atrocities by the security forces. In some of the border areas, we are having your Armed Force Special Powers Act, so those have also been misused. So when we talk about change in the perception, so that these are some of the things that we have to involve the locals in the governance process. And then there should be the development thing should be from the bottom up rather than the top down. And then there should be, whenever we see that there is corruption, whenever we see that there has been misuse of the powers by the armed forces, stringent measures should be taken against it. And at the same time, we also need to expose to the local people that you are being radicalized. We have to show them, we have to expose them that supposedly you are getting radicalized by Pakistan. So why Pakistan wants to radicalize you? Pakistan is not radicalizing you for your benefit. It wants that there should be instability in India. If China is funding or directly or indirectly the Northeast insurgency, the purpose of China is not to help you to not for your benefit, but that it wants that there should be instability in this northeastern part. So we need to show the reality, we need to expose them, we have to show them that how they are becoming the puppets in the hands of the militants. So these things, when we are able to show them the real picture, our image would be improved. So for effective border area management, discuss the steps required to be taken to deny local support to the militants. So what are the major problems in the border areas, why they are supporting the local militants, and then you have to give suggestions for the favorable perception amongst the local. So favorable perception will only come when you have the confidence building measures, when the local people have faith on you, when you take them along with you in the governance process. So that will help you to bring a positive image building. Now, these are some of the questions which are very generalist kind of a question. Now, let us take another question, that is question number 19. A very favorite question of your UPSC. It is saying, what are the determinants of left-wing extremism in eastern part of India? Left-wing extremism, eastern part of India. You know, what are the reasons for left-wing extremism in the eastern part of India? What strategy should government of India? What strategy should government of India, civil administration and security forces? Security forces adopt to counter the threat in the affected areas. So when we are talking about, like in the previous question, when we were talking about your confidence building measures, we can talk about like how forces like in Kashmir, we have seen that how military is also helping the local people in promoting sports, how military is also helping the local people in providing education, how the military is also providing them health care services at the time of need. So that also helps in building the image. Now let's come to this question. The question is, what are the reasons for the left-wing extremism in eastern part of India? So what are the reasons? Why do we? This is a very favorite question of UPSC and LWE, left-wing extremism और जो नक्सलिज्म है, इसी के ऊपर बार-बार क्वेश्चन आते रहे हैं. And this time also this is a very straightforward question कि eastern part of India. When we talk about the eastern part of India, so the red corridor का जो eastern part है, उसके बारे में पूछ रहे हैं कि what are the reasons? So when we talk about the eastern part, we have Odisha, we have West Bengal, we have some part of your Jharkhand, some part of the Bihar region which is touching your Odisha and West Bengal wala आपका जो part है. So these are some of the areas where we have the left wing extremism. So why left wing extremism in eastern part of India? So what are the main reasons for LWE in the eastern part of India? So main reasons, when you talk about these eastern parts, when we see the geography, these are the areas where we have small hills. These are the areas where we have very rich mineral resources, and these are the areas which are forested areas. So these areas provide a natural thriving ground. ठीक है, जो आपके LWE wing के cadres है, they can easily hide in this guerrilla warfare. ये easily in आपके forested areas में करते हैं. Mineral resource rich area है, तो that is a kind of a जो उनको economically support करता है ये region. And then when you talk about, this is the geographical reason, but what is the reason is the main reason of LWE is your Jal Jungle Zameen. So that is your land reforms have not been carried out properly. Alienation has been there because of the mineral area. This area is also having lot of industrial development. So because of these industries, there have been lot of evictions. बहुत सारे ट्राइबल्स को उनके एरियाज से हटाया गया है, एंड रिहैबिलिटेशन हैज नॉट टेकन प्लेस. देन देयर इज सोशल ऑपरेशन ऑल्सो. We have seen that there is like Ranbir Sena, there is Dalit upper caste versus lower caste. There also LWE जो है आपके, उनकी mentality, they come as a savior for the Dalit people. So social oppression is there, corruption is there, malgovernance is there, development नहीं है इन areas में. So because of these things, but the main grudge is कि जो आपके land जो है, land ले लिए, land का proper redistribution नहीं है, poverty है, eviction है, रिहैबिलिटेशन नहीं है, सोशल ऑपरेशन है आपका यहाँ पे, एंड मैल गवर्नेंस है. सो बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स द LWE आपका जो है ईस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया, प्लस योर geographical reasons, आपका mineral rich region है, आपका forested region है आपका, and then आपका जो है small hills हैं, and mostly people are tribal here. And जो tribals हैं, they can be tribals के साथ एक है कि they believe in the community feeling. तो उनको democracy से उतनी वो they are not much bothered about individualism, they are not bothered about democracy, what is right, what is wrong. They go with the community. Tribals, they have that communism वाला फीलिंग. सो इनको जो है कम्युनिस्ट मेंटालिटी के साथ इजीली रेडिकलाइज किया जा सकता है. एंड दैट टू व्हेन यू हैव द पुल फैक्टर्स और द पुश फैक्टर्स, यू कैन से इज योर पॉवर्टी इज देयर, मैल गवर्नेंस इज देयर, poor development is there. So these are the reasons for that. So first part of the question is that. Now we have to first write about this very straightforward question, what are the reasons? So you can talk about left wing extremism, in which part of India it is, in which eastern parts of the India you can mention about that them, and then 1 2 3 4 you can mention about the reasons, and what strategy should be taken by Government of India, civil administration, security forces. Now Government of India, So जो आपके what strategies you have to individually write about government of India, civil administration and security forces. So when we talk about government of India, so government of India, so आपका mal governance का जो issue है, आपका corruption का आपका issue है, आपका यहाँ पे आपका जो land reforms का issue है, आपका rehabilitation का issue है, civil administration can also work for the development of the area, governance of the area, corruption का जो issues है, implementation of the schemes and policies, then civil administration can also work for the service delivery mechanism, better service delivery mechanism. They can also negotiate with the local people, tribal people, because civil administration is the face of the government. So they can interact with the people, confidence building measures हो सकती है. And security forces, when we talk about security forces, then security forces have to be highly trained. They have to be well equipped. Then security forces, they should be well trained to deal with this guerrilla warfare of the LWE people. Then they should be like Samadhan scheme has been given by the government of India, where we are trying to develop the security forces according to the terrain of the area. What we have seen कि security forces के पास जो arms and ammunitions है वो बहुत पुराने होते हैं और इनके arms and ammunitions हमसे बहुत ज़्यादा जो है latest होते हैं. So we need to make our forces strong. We need to reform the security forces to deal in these areas. Guerrilla warfare है यहाँ पे, तो security forces के जो है आपको reforms, उनको highly equipped, उनको highly technological warfare, watch towers, उनका जो signals and everything, we have to have a proper security infrastructure given to the security forces who are in these areas. So different measures could be written for this. We have to rather upgrade the security forces. Okay, now let us see the question number 20. That is the fourth question. It is saying analyze internal security threats and trans-border crimes along Myanmar, Bangladesh and Pakistan borders, including LOC. Also discuss the role played by various security forces. Also discuss the role played by various security forces in these areas. Again, a question related to the border areas. There is a question with respect to your border management, and another thing is, like last time also they have asked a question with respect to Myanmar border. Again they have asked a question where they are asking about Myanmar. So border management is a very because border management is very important area for internal security. So a many threats are coming from the border. So border has become a important subject for UPSC questions also. So anyways, let us take this question. Analyze internal security threats and trans-border crimes along Myanmar, Bangladesh and Pakistan borders. So first thing is, we have to talk about the trans-border security crimes or threats from Myanmar border. So when we talk about Myanmar, we have seen that there is a Myanmar falls under your golden triangle, है ना? Myanmar, Thailand, Laos is there. So drugs है आपका, drugs are coming from Myanmar. Then we have seen arms, ammunitions, smuggling. These things are happening through your Myanmar border. Chinese goods are illegally coming to India through the Myanmar border. So we have lot of smuggling का है, drug trafficking है Myanmar border से, arms, ammunitions. These things are coming. When we talk about Bangladesh Bangladesh border, say earlier it was your FIC and fake Indian currency notes were there, and then there have been smuggling of some medicines were there, drugs were also there, your synthetic drugs were also coming from through this border. And then right now cattle smuggling has become a very important issue on the India-Bangladesh border. And when we talk about Pakistan border, then from Pakistan border we have seen insurgents have been infiltrating from this border. The arms, ammunitions are there. Drug trafficking has been coming from this. Fake Indian currency notes are coming from these areas, and especially during winters, lot of militant infiltrate through this LOC border. So what are the threats and trans-border crimes? So threats जो है आपका arms, ammunitions, drugs है आपका mainly threats, और trans-border crime जो है आपका trafficking है, आपका ह्यूमन ट्रैफिकिंग है, आपका कैटल ट्रैफिकिंग है, आपका स्मगलिंग हो रही है इन एरियाज से. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइज्ड क्राइम्स दैट आर हैपनिंग. एंड देन also discuss the role played by various security forces in these areas. So when you talk about Myanmar border, so we have Assam Rifles here, we have Indian Army covering is there, and when we talk about border Bangladesh border, we have border security forces there. When we talk about Pakistan border LOC, we have army is there, paramilitary forces are there. Now discuss the role played by various security forces in these areas. So what are the role they are manning these borders? And in the Myanmar border, we have seen like 3 years back, we have gone for a hot pursuit also. Then in these areas, we are also into joint some of the areas where like in Myanmar and Bangladesh where we have friendly relationship. So we are into joint patrolling also. We are jointly patrolling the areas with these countries. And when you talk about Pakistan, so role played by the various security forces in these areas. So role played is basically they are guarding the areas, they are checking any kind of infiltration from these areas. And now it's like security forces are also using your smart technology, especially along your Pakistan border. So security forces are playing a very, very important role in these areas. And then in these areas, security forces, especially when we have Myanmar, when we have Bangladesh, where we have a friendly relationship, so they are also developing a kind of a rapport with the locals on both the sides. So that also is a very, very important thing, because when we talk about Myanmar border, we have free movement regime, 16 kilometer here and 16 kilometer both sides. So we can go both sides 16 kilometers. So there has to be a kind of a confidence building measure with the locals. Local support is also very important. So at on one hand they are guarding the area, and at the other hand they are also trying to garner the local support to manage these borders. So there, just I am giving you some references, you can add more points to it. So the question is very straightforward. What are the crimes? And specific, you mentioned about specific Myanmar border, Bangladesh border, Pakistan border, and then you can talk about the role played by the security forces. You may begin with some of the threats that are why the border areas are becoming very important for containing the internal security threats, and what are the role played by the various forces. So these are very straightforward questions that border management related. We have two questions. LWE, we have very constantly we have been getting questions from LWE, and cyber related crimes se questions aa rahe the, and this time it is a very straightforward question. So luckily this time not many of the questions from your internal security are analytical or thought provoking, very straightforward. Thank you.